Podcast news of the week for the week of December 8th to December 14th. Michelle, I got you with me right now, and we got a lot to talk about in many
Hi,
ways.
hi, Jackie.
Hi. Before we start, I have to say that this has become a heated rivalry podcast as
Fan
well, fan
podcast.
podcast, because Michelle and I and our friend Nick McCarville have been talking about the show a lot. And I'm gonna insert some figure skating stuff in here first before you tell me that this is about hockey. We were talking about how Shane Hollander, the hockey player, the fictional hockey player in Heated Rivalry, was at the 2014 Olympics
Playing for
and
Canada.
playing for Canada.
Team
And
captain.
therefore, he had to have been fictionally teammates with the
Mm-hmm.
entire Canadian team, including Dylan Moskovich,
Mm-hmm.
who plays the single skater that Shane Hollander goes and watches and does a double toe. I thought that was a very meta moment in that whole thing, and one
Yeah.
that only like people like Michelle and I would actually understand.
I think Kirsten probably noticed that too, if she's watching.
I hope
It's like, excuse me.
Kirsten Moore Towers. I know you are heavy in pregnancy right now.
Mm-hmm.
Has she had her baby yet? No, right?
I don't think so. I saw
I
that
don't.
she
Yeah.
was renovating her house today.
There we
So
go.
she's,
There we go.
you know,
Kirsten Moore
she's
Towers.
almost ready.
If you are listening to this and you are renovating your house while being very heavily pregnant, please watch Heated Rivalry and tell
Mm-hmm.
us about Dylan Moskovich's double toe, please.
Tell us what it was like hanging out with Shane
Shane
Hollander at the
Hollander.
2014 Olympics.
I
Did you
mean,
did you meet him? Did you meet any of the hockey team?
my guess is that Shane Hollander did not go and socialize with anyone, knowing
Yeah.
Shane
He was
Hollander's
drinking his
socialist.
ginger ale
Exactly.
and in
Okay.
bed by 8 p.m. Lights out.
Sorry, this was an unhinged first 2 minutes of the podcast, but thank you for sticking with us. We will have more heated rivalry references throughout the rest of the season,
Hmm.
so get ready for that. Okay, so news of the week for this middle of December. There was actually a lot that happened outside of, we're going to talk about a lot of national championships that happened. But first, after the Grand Prix final was over, the ISU confirmed the 10 countries that qualified for the Olympics team event. And none of it was a surprise because there were literally only 10 countries that were eligible to be in the team event, and therefore they all qualified. And the eligibility has to be that you have to have qualified at least three of the disciplines, individual disciplines, for the Olympics in order to be eligible to qualify for the team event. So none of it was a surprise. U.S., Japan, Italy, Canada, Georgia, France, Great Britain, South Korea, China, and Poland. Now, Michelle, you and I were talking about this earlier in the season of like, there are multiple teams that did not qualify all four, right?
Hmm.
And so, therefore, if you only have three of the four disciplines qualified, you have to rely on one or more of the extra five athlete spots that are available. And those are available based on the rankings of the teams as they come in. So, for example, Japan qualified second into the team event, and they don't have currently a dance team qualified for
Hmm.
the Olympics. And therefore, they get first dibs at two of those five spots, and they get a dance team into the team event.
Hmm.
And so as you go, as you keep going down, right? U.S. was qualified first; they have all four. Italy has all four. Canada has all four. Georgia has all four. Then it goes to France. France does not have a pairs team that qualified yet. And we keep saying yet because we don't know about the alternates and who's going to give up their spots and so forth.
France is the first alternate.
France is the first alternate for the pairs. And so right now, France will get 2 of the remaining 3 spots, athlete spots, for their pairs, so they get a pair into the team event. And then you go down to Great Britain. Great Britain qualified 3 of the 4 and does not have a men's spot. And so they get the last of the 5 athlete spots currently. And so then you go down 3 more countries. South Korea needs a pair spot. Poland needs a dance spot. And so all of this is to say that somehow the math works out very well because the likelihood of France getting a pair spot is fairly high because we are expecting at least one of the countries that has a pair spot to give up a pair spot, whether it is Uzbekistan, who does not currently have an internationally active pair. We do know that Ekaterina Ganesh and I believe Marco Zandron have competed domestically. If they don't give it up, then there's a possibility that the Netherlands gives up their spot, which is really unfortunate because basically
they have a great team and an unrealistically high score minimum.
Danilova Tsiba does not have the minimum score that the Dutch Olympic committee requires for them to qualify, and so I would hate to see that happening because they earned the spot. They earned the spot. So the likelihood is that one of those spots gets given to France, so that frees up 2 spots, right, or 2 athlete spots, which then goes down to South Korea, who don't have a pair. And so they won't even use that. And so then it goes down to Poland, who does have an ice dance team and will end up using the remaining 2 athlete spots if they become available.
Okay.
So many things.
Squared away. South Korea needs to find a pair team.
I know. It's so sad because who is that? Haejin Cho, is that her? She had been competing for Korea in pairs for quite a number of years with different pair partners. Haejin Cho, and she just hasn't had she hasn't found somebody who's sort of like been able to kind of keep up with her, and so
maybe she should go shopping in Canada.
Well, I think she has been. Her last pairs partner is Stephen Adcock, who was
Oh yeah, I know that name.
So yeah, they competed for a season ish, and then didn't happen. And then also, she had teamed up with Harley Windsor for a hot second, and then they didn't stay together. So it's unfortunate. We'll see. I mean, Korea does need a pair spot, and they would.
Yeah.
It'd be great if they had one. Okay. So that's a team event. There were a couple of other ISU and IOC things that were going on. Michelle, would you like to give us some of the news of the week?
Yeah. So the ISU confirmed that it is investigating a complaint submitted by the Ukraine Skating Federation about the neutrality status of 2 of the AIN athletes, the 2 that were approved from Russia, Adelia Petrosyan and Peter Gumenik. And Ukraine pointed out a couple different activities these skaters had participated in, skating in shows that were run by organizations that have supported the war on Ukraine, some personal connections that Peter Gumenik has in his normal life, to someone who's very much in support of the war. And the ISU is basically checking it out, to confirm whether or not these athletes are in fact neutral. The other somewhat related news is that the IOC has decided that they have issued a recommendation to multiple sports federations that they should start allowing Belarusian and Russian junior skaters back into international competition, or junior athletes back into international competition, junior level, so like lower level. And the ISU is considering this. I'm really interested to see what they decide, because I feel like the ISU is a sporting federation that has a very large Ukrainian population and is very sensitive to their struggles. In particular, like, I don't know if Ukraine has any functioning ice rinks left. I think the last one was destroyed in a bombing raid. And there's a lot of Ukrainian skaters that are training abroad now, due to the situation. So we'll see what the ISU decides there.
And a lot of other countries' federations that have brought in Ukrainian athletes with open arms because they don't have training facilities.
Yeah.
So lots going on there. This episode, besides the heated rivalry at the beginning, feels a lot like an NPR episode right now. It's like up first. Okay, so
well, let's talk about secret babies.
Secret babies. We're going less NPR now. And the secret baby was Michelle Kwan's.
Yay.
We love it.
Rose Kwan.
Della Rose. We know that her first child is already on the ice, isn't?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
So.
Yeah. But the way that Michelle Kwan maintains her privacy, I think is so impressive. And I was looking at her Instagram, and she posted like twice throughout the fall. Both times were videos of her like rollerblading with a completely flat stomach, like clearly not pregnant. And it's like, you think, oh, she's back in California, she's rollerblading, like, no, surprise. Actually 9 months pregnant, and here's my new child.
Surprise. She was just psyching all of us out with like old videos that she like pre-recorded for the moment.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to Michelle Kwan. I was just rewatching her Winter Song program from 2010.
When are you
back
not?
when she was I love that program so much. I love it. You should all watch the Winter Song program. It's great for the holidays. Well, that was some of the news of the week. And the rest of the news of the week was the 5,000 national championships that happened over the past few days. And we're not going to go through every single one of them because it will take way too long. But we will talk about some of the ones that are that have a little bit of implications. We've mentioned this many times over the past few weeks, including on my very nerdy Olympic selection procedures splainer video, that there have been a number of very close races that have been the case for Olympic spots. And let's start actually with Finland, because this one was, it kind of cropped up on us. I don't know if we expected the Ida Karhunen, Olivia Lisko battle for the Olympic spot to be, one, as really good as it's been, and two, also as intriguing as it's been, because they've been sort of up and down, right? So Ida Karhunen won Finlandia trophy over Olivia Lisko in the head-to-head. The winning is in the head-to-head, not in the actual competition. But she skated very well there. Olivia Lisko did not skate as well. But then Olivia Lisko, a couple weeks later at Tallinn Trophy, scored like a 196 or something like that.
I think it was the week later. Like, she went from not skating well in Finland to laying it down in Estonia.
Yeah. And then took the lead there, and then Ida Karhunen came back and was like, not so fast. I'm going to golden spin and do and skate really well there.
Hmm.
And still at that point, right? So the finish spots or the finish spot, right? They have
Hmm.
one spot for the women. Um, is supposed to be determined by a combination of the highest international score and the Finnish national score. And I haven't found the actual documentation on this one, so I'm going to do a disclaimer here to say that
Hmm.
this may be a little bit incorrect, if not a lot incorrect, but I think this is what it's supposed to be, and therefore this weekend's Finnish nationals was a very important competition. And it was Ida Karhunen who skated really well
Hmm.
and beat Olivia Lisko by 13 points. Olivia Lisko had the lead after the short program, skated very well on the short. They both skated very well on the short, but it was Karhunen and her consistency that brought her the Finnish title. And so, if you added the best international and the best Finnish or the nationals score, you get Ida Karhunen winning that one by about 4 points.
Hmm.
And so it's not over yet, right? Olivia Lisko, if she can like find another international competition and skate well there, I think it does not have to be a challengers or a Grand Prix. But if it is a challenger or Grand Prix, then we're done,
Hmm.
because Karhunen will be going to Europeans.
Hmm.
So I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
No indications yet of anything on the Finnish team quite yet.
Yeah. It seems like Karhunen and her tutu will be in Milan.
And her blinking.
Yeah. I was really excited to watch Finnish Nationals because it was the first look we got at Turkila Versluis this season because they missed the Grand Prix because of Versluis's nerve injury in his leg.
Yeah,
And they kept their free dance from last season.
we
New
love that.
costumes, which are
We
beautiful.
love it.
Program's still great. And they debuted their rhythm dance at Nationals, which is Ricky Martin. And it was a good program. I haven't seen too many seniors doing Ricky Martin, but I loved it
I
on
know.
them. And yeah, I thought
Why
they did
why
great.
isn't anybody doing Ricky
I
Martin?
know. And I want to shout out Yulia Turkila for being the most historically accurate to the late 90s hairstyles and clothing. That she by far did the best job. She had her hair in those tight little multiple little buns, kind of like Mandy Moore used to wear. And then she had like one of those like spaghetti strap tops on with like the kind of, I don't know, curtained front that's sort of drapey. It was great. Great. She
Why
did a
is
great job.
nobody why is nobody skating to Mandy Moore's Candy?
I
Speaking of which.
know. I know. It also it reminded me the Olsen twins had that show in the late 90s where they were like young teens and they always had their hair in those twisties, those like twisty little buns with like little clips and stuff on it, and it was Yulia's hair was like also giving that, and yeah, it took me right back and I
The
appreciated
Olsen
that.
twins had a show in the late 90s?
Yes. And
Or
it was
was it
on
the
like after
Oh, it
school.
was called Two of a Kind. Oh
There you
my
go.
gosh.
And
Two of a Kind.
I think they were so because I was also a petite child, and they had these clothes, and I was like, "Where'd you get those?" Because like I can't find that stuff in my size, and I'm sure they had like designer clothes like tailored to fit their very small physiques. But yeah,
Likely. So so Turkila versus
yes.
wins, and over Orihara Pirinen and
Hmm.
Ivanitsky and Sperry. So
Hmm.
those were the top three there. Just really good to see Turkila and Versus back because they are such a great team,
Hmm.
and it would have been a real shame if they didn't get to go to the Olympics, especially in their basically in their like training country, right?
Yeah.
So and then for the men,
No, they train in Finland.
I thought they trained in Italy.
No, it's they're in Finland. Their coach is Italian though, Maurizio.
I
He's
think
married to a Finnish woman and
that makes sense.
runs a school
Okay,
in Finland.
the
Yeah.
whole time I thought
Yeah.
Maurizio was in Italy
But we
coaching.
need Maurizio at the boards in Milan.
I mean, for sure. Maurizio Margalio,
Having
if
war
anybody's
flashbacks.
asking, I know. Uh, For the men, it was Matthias Lindfors, who's a really great up and coming Finnish skater, and now not as up and coming anymore. Now that he is the Finnish champion, Dr. Virtanen was first after the short and ended up third in his 200th Finnish national championships. I wonder if he'll continue. I mean, it'd be great to see him continue skating
and practicing medicine.
For longevity's sake. Okay, across the pond in Estonia, this was another very interesting battle because it was the Selevko brothers who went 1-2 kind of expectedly, and it was Alexander Selevko, who ended up on top over Mihail Selevko by 9 points. Now, if you listen to the Olympic procedures podcast, you will know that Estonian nationals does not actually count for anything in terms of the Olympics selection. But it is important in the sense that this is kind of, it sets the stage for the showdown at Europeans, which Alexander Selevko and Mihail Selevko will be at. And so it is Sasha Selevko's spot to lose at this point, given the scores that they have had this season. But Europeans will count, so people will be watching that one closely. And then on the women's side, Nina Petrokina comes back after another surgery and wins this one 194, and it was pretty convincing. She's still not doing any triple lutzes or triple flips yet. She had a double lutz this time in her free skate, so I think she's probably getting it back. But at least the toe, the loop, and the sow looked better this time around than it did at was it Golden Spin that she was in. So she will be heading to Europeans, as well as likely Natalie Langerbauer and Kristina Lisovskaya. So they will be looking to that competition as well for the Olympic spots. Estonia. Where else do we want to go here?
Four nationals.
Oh, Michelle knows. She was all over the four nationals.
I actually watched some of this. Yeah.
Ice dance. What happened?
Well, there was an interesting turn of events. So four nationals is four of the countries in sort of Central Europe: Poland, Czechia,
Eastern Europe.
Eastern? East Central.
Central
East
to Eastern? Yeah.
Well, Eastern I think is like Russia over there. I guess it's east of Central. Poland, Czechia, Slovakia, and Hungary. And they're all very close to each other. They share borders, except I think Hungary's below. It touches Slovakia. But anyway, they have a combined nationals just to have more competition there. And this was an interesting dance event because the Mrazeks beat the Tashlers by over 10 points overall.
Yeah.
So I was like, I have to watch this. And I don't think either team skated particularly well. No, okay. I will say there weren't any major mistakes. I didn't see. The Tashlers, while they skated well, it was just, there were a couple like little issues throughout the programs. And the Mrazeks, I feel like their material's so good this year, especially the free dance. It's just crystallizing, and they're just sort of breaking away from the pack. And their free dance here in particular was really good. So that's sort of an interesting, decision judging at home too, or as home as you get. And then the Hungarians. Oh, go ahead.
We don't know what at least I don't know what the Czechia selection process is like. So perhaps we will have to wait till after Europeans for the actual team to be named. I'm not sure.
They have 2 spots, don't they?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, they have 2 dance spots.
Do they?
Yeah.
We'll talk about. We'll
I'm
figure
thinking
this
they
out.
have to have 2 because that would be some major drama that I feel like I can't not have been aware of. But I did notice also at this competition, they had a junior pair and a junior dance event, and Czech Czechia had 7 junior dance teams, which I thought was pretty impressive. They only have 2 senior. So,
We're trying to figure this out for you right away because it is very important. Czechia has 2 ice dance spots.
yeah.
Jackie, what is
My
wrong with
God.
you? What is wrong with you? I did
Well,
the
you,
whole
you know,
time. The whole
yeah,
time I was actually trying to figure out Eastern Europe versus Central Europe,
yeah.
and there are conflicting geographical categorizations because
Mm.
both Eastern Europe and Central Europe apparently contain Czechia. So, and Slovakia.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, because I
I don't know.
remember my
I
my
feel,
my history classes back in the day. It was like,
yeah.
it's the Eastern Europe bloc and all that stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
Czechoslovakia was in that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It is Central and or Eastern Europe,
Mm-hmm.
but it used to be the 3 nations
Mm. Did they add Hungary?
nationals. They added, I think they added Hungary. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's kind
Hungary
of
used to
fun.
have its own. Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's cool to be able to
Mm-hmm.
see multiple countries
Yeah.
that have, maybe 2 or 3 teams or skaters be able
Mm-hmm.
to actually have a real, uh, a bigger competition for people
Yeah.
to skate at, and it's like a pseudo international. So
Yeah.
very fun. Um, for the men, Adam Hagara ended up
Mm-hmm.
winning that one. Ekaterina Kurakova won the women's
Mm-hmm.
event. It was great to see her prevail here because it
Mm-hmm.
was very close across all of them.
Yeah.
Uh, and
The short
then
program. She had another Polish girl, Weronika
yeah,
Fairlin, who was 200ths of a point behind her in the short
yeah,
program. And I was like, uh-oh. But Veronica had a bit of a struggle in the free skate, and
yeah.
Kurakova took the title.
And then Pavlova Sviatchenko, not
Mm-hmm.
surprisingly, wins the pairs. Now,
Mm-hmm.
one of the interesting things about the women's event is that Eliška Brzinova, who has been the Czech kind of number one for quite a
Mm-hmm.
while, and on the women's front, ended up third amongst the Czech women, but she's the only one out of the 3 who has the world's minimums.
Mm. Well,
So
the other 2 have the Euro minimum because that might get them the.
right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I remember looking at it, and I think one of them has
Yeah.
the Europeans minimum, but we will confirm
Mm-hmm.
that one. Yes, Barbara Frankova has the
Mm-hmm.
Europeans minimum, so she is the one who quote unquote won the
Mm-hmm.
Czech nationals, and so she will likely be the one who gets sent.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, both of them. So Barbara Frankova and Mikhaila Rastakova both have Europeans minimums,
Mm.
and Eliška Brzinova is the only one of the 3 who has the world minimums.
Mm. Interesting.
All right, let's go over to Sweden.
Yeah, there's more
And
nationals.
so many nationals. And another one where we were looking at the ice dance event with a lot of intrigue
Yeah.
because Mila Rudretan and Nikolai Mayrov, if you remember, Mila had flung her elbow or flung her shoulder out of her
Yeah.
socket while dancing
Dancing
vigorously
vigorously.
in the rhythm dance. There was a question as to whether or not she would be back in time for nationals, and she is back in time for nationals. And they wanted it was an exhibition. They were the only team there, but it was good to see them back. 184.57. They're still awaiting Mila's citizenship,
Mm-hmm.
and so
I
they,
saw
they
she applied on December 1st. It's when she had met her residency requirement.
yep.
So if anyone
So
in Sweden and the Swedish government is listening, you need to prioritize that. Walk down to wherever it is and put it in the rush bin,
hello,
please.
hello, Swedish officials who are
I
listening
mean,
to this
the
podcast.
Finnish government is listening, so why not the Swedish?
Exactly. Um, Andreas Nordebach wins the men's event, and our fave, Josephine Taillagard, wins the women's event. She still needs her minimums for Worlds, and so she'll get another chance at Europeans to do that. But she skated a pretty good competition here. Sweden. All right. Germany. What happened in Germany? So many things. I think the one that was probably the most interesting was how Hasse Volodin, for me at least, how Hasse Volodin translated their Grand Prix final performance to nationals, and they skated very well. The only mistake that they had was Minerva stepping out of her combo in the free skate, but everything else was very strong, and so they win German nationals over Hake Kunkel 223 to 188. And everybody else was more or less as we would expect it to be. Janse van Rensburg and Stefan wins the dance. Genrik Gartung actually went from third to first, and it was the short program was a little bit of a surprise because it was neither Gartung nor Nikita Starostin who won the short program. It was Kai Yagoda who won the short program, and it ended up being those three in the top three. But Genrik Gartung skated a much better free skate than anybody else there, and took the title, and presumably that gets him over to the World Championships. And then Julia Grabowski wins the women's event. And there was a little bit of a controversial thing because they did not name Julia Grabowski to the Europeans team, even though she won the women's event, and they didn't name anybody to the Europeans team on the women's event.
They're just not going to send anyone?
They're just not going to send anyone.
That's not very nice.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how do you expect people to develop without giving them big competition experience? It's not very nice. That was Germany. There were a couple other ones as well that also happened. Austria was in there. Maurizio Zandrone wins the men's. Olga Mikutina wins the women's. Gabriela Izzo is now
Let's go.
an Austrian champion. Izzo Meyerhofer winning the pairs event. And then Straub, who I've never heard of, but it's good to see Austria having a dance presence, because they had actually 3 dance teams in the ice dance event. And, I think the potential for them in the future to actually qualify for an Olympics team event is very much there if they can figure that out. All right. I mean, there was lots of other things going on. I mean, Smart Dieck won the Spanish nationals. There was a lot of other things going on, but the national championships, all of that stuff going on. And then Great Britain and Georgia name their Olympics teams.
And it's exactly who you thought it would be.
I mean, given that Georgia literally has one competitor in each of the 4 disciplines, and they have one spot in each of the 4 disciplines, we knew who was going. Kubanova, Igatse, Metelkina Barulova. Oh, and Diana Davis and Glove Smokin.
Oh, yeah.
Lord.
Yeah, Davis and Smolkin.
Speaking of Diana Davis, she actually had if you haven't gone to Instagram and saw and seen Diana Davis's post, she really opens up about her hearing disorder that she's had since she was a child, hearing loss, that she's had since she was a kid, and many reasons as to why she is not the most talkative person in the mixed zone. So go take a look. It's always good to see people, sort of go out there and talk about the challenges that they have because it's important. It's good role modeling for folks if you're comfortable doing that kind of thing. And then Great Britain, again, pretty cut and dry. Kristen Spars won the British Championship. She gets the spot that she earned. Edward Appleby, as we were talking about earlier, gets the men's spot in the team event. And then Vipin and Digby get the pairs spot. And it was the 2 spots going to ice dance for Fear Gibson and Becker and Hernandez.
Yeah, they're excited.
They're all so excited. They all got their gear and their photo shoots and everything.
Yeah.
Well, that was news of the week. This is an extra long news of the week episode for the midweek of December 2025. Well, welcome to the Rocker Skating Podcast, sponsored by John Wilson Blades. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Jackie. What do
All right,
we have
well,
left to talk about?
I know news of the week had a lot of stuff, and we have a lot. We still have plenty to talk about because this weekend will be French nationals and Italian nationals and Japanese nationals, and we're gonna save the preview for Japan nationals for the midweek, but we're going to talk about Italian and French nationals right now. I think those are going to be very exciting. There's a lot to potentially look at there. Let's talk about the French first. Now, France for the men's event for the Olympics has 2 spots. Women 1 spot, pairs 1 team spot, and ice dance 2 spots. And so the men were, unless something crazy happens in the men's event, which like it'd have to be like incredibly crazy. There's very little chance that it's not going to be Adam Seau and Kevin Amos who make it onto the French Olympic team. For me, the intrigue is going to be the battle for the 3rd spot for the world team. Now they have 2 spots for the Olympic team, but they do have 3 spots for the world team. And so the Luki Konomides and Francois Pitot and very more recently Sammy Hammy coming in and being a potential contender. I think that the 3 of them and who gets the 3rd here will be very interesting to see. The women, that 1 spot is going to either Lorene Shield or Leah Serna.
Yeah. And I can't really make a prediction here. I mean,
I
I
know.
really thought Lorene Shield was having a great season until she wasn't. So we'll see.
It's really it's been a tale of 2 different seasons for these 2 because Lorene came out so strong at the beginning and has her scores internationally have only gone down, and she's somehow lost her consistency, whereas Leah Serna started off okay and has gotten stronger and stronger. So French nationals will likely be the decider of this whole thing. Now, could they string it out to Europeans? They potentially could. Actually, I don't think they could because I think the French criteria has it that I am confirming here. French criteria is an analysis of the performances at the Grand Prix, French Masters, Challengers, and the National Championships. So Europeans, as far as the rules are concerned, do not figure into the Olympic selection process.
Interesting.
So that will be one of the exciting battles. The other exciting one is going to be in pairs, where Kovalev and Fala and Bell are probably going to be the ones who are vying for that spot. Now, all season long, it's generally been Kovalev. Cami had that shoulder dislocation at her last Grand Prix, and she is scheduled to be back this week.
Mm-hmm.
But
We'll see.
I think she said something about her not being 100% and hasn't been able to train 100%. So it's gonna be a little touch and go,
Yikes.
I think.
Yeah.
So we'll see what that means, right? Like she's obviously not going to be skating at 100%, and
Mm-hmm.
there's probably not a formal petitioning process per se, but there's also the fact that like both Kovalev's and the Anfala Bell have a history this season that they can do analysis of, and so we'll see what happens after this week. And in ice dance, what do you think?
This is going to be a great competition. I'm excited to
Yeah,
see everybody. It's just like such a great collection of teams.
it really
I
is.
I mean, I'm expecting Fournier, Baudry, and Cizeron to score something insane and win easily. I mean, I feel like that's a forgiven. I mean, it's just we can just say that from here, unless they have another
I,
skirt grabbing blade mishap.
oh
But
gosh,
even then,
I am very curious as to how many tens they're going to get,
yeah. I mean,
because I think
I think the number of tens they don't get is going to be smaller than the number they do.
I mean we know how French nationals does. I mean we know how generally how
Hmm.
national championships across the
Yeah.
world does, and like I will
Yeah.
do my general disclaimer that
Hmm.
you should take the national championship scores with a grain of salt,
Yeah.
because they're generally going to be higher than what you see
Yeah.
in an international setting.
I'm going to predict they break 90 in the rhythm dance.
Mm. We haven't seen that this season,
No, I don't
right?
think we've seen that in, yeah, at least one Olympic cycle since Guillaume. No, it would have been Maddie and Evan
No, Maddie and Evan have
at like the
like got
World
a
Team
world
Trophy.
team trophy.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
um, yeah. But I think the real battle is going to be for silver between Lopareva Brissot and Demougeot
Yeah.
Lemercier. And we'll see how that shakes out. It'll be really interesting. I think that's your podium, unless pending disaster.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I imagine all three of those teams will be at Europeans. But we'll see who's chosen for the Olympic team.
Yep.
It's,
Well, multiple 90 pluses for Chalk and Bates.
wow.
2023 Worlds, 2023 World Team Trophy, 2024 Worlds, 2025 Worlds, 2025
Wow.
World Team Trophy. I mean
Interesting.
that is their MO. It
Yeah.
is escalating scores during the season
Hmm.
because they are just generally so good at taking every little piece of feedback
Yeah.
and putting it in there.
Yeah.
And Fournier, Vaudry, Cicerone were 88.54 at Masters.
And that was with their Depeche Mode program. So,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, it's going to be a really bitter pill to swallow when one of these other teams is left off the Olympic team because they only have two spots. It's just really
Absolutely.
frustrating and unfair. And uh,
Yeah, I mean, unless something weird happens with Lopario Brissot,
yeah,
their scores have been almost all of them have been above Demougeot
yeah,
Lemercier's scores this
it's
season.
going to be them.
So, yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, and I love them. It's just I want all
I
three of these
know,
teams there. You know.
I know. French nationals. I think this is probably going to be one of the more fun, interestingly fun French nationals that we've
Hmm.
had in recent years. A lot because we just haven't seen as many like sort of head to heads, right?
Yeah.
We usually
Yeah,
come
like
in and it's like,
Adam.
oh yeah, we know who it
Adam
is.
wasn't there last year,
Right.
was he? No, he
I
missed it.
think he was injured last year
Yeah, and that's when Kevin did the A.
at the 0A.
Yeah.
What happened last year?
Because they have to have, because it's not a waltz jump. A waltz jump gets an A. If you just set it up and you don't do it, then it's a 0A.
Oh, I think it's exactly the same thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just call it a
Interesting.
0A.
Okay.
I don't know that was the 0A year. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's go over to Italy.
Okay.
And this is your home country for the Olympics here for Italy, and so this is I think there's going to be more interest going into these national championships. Now,
Campionati Italiani Patinaggio di Figura, junior and senior in Bergamo.
Michelle, you need to teach us how to speak.
Oh, I've got nothing. I've never studied Italian. I'm just trying. I gotta get ready.
Campionati Italiani Patinaggio di Figura. Okay, somebody's gonna message me and be like, "Don't ever do that again."
Yeah.
So for the men, we've been setting this up all season long. Daniel Grasso has very much a lock.
Yeah, he's fine.
On an Olympic spot. They have 2 Olympic spots, and the likelihood it'll be between Nicolai Memola and Matteo Rizzo, and the whole thing is they are adding scores up, and so as I found over the last few days, the Italian criteria is even more complicated than I thought it was.
There's percentages.
Well, there's the percentages, but then there's also, like, for these type B competitions, if you're counting the first type B, it counts at 100%. If you count more than one type B, the second one's at 95%. So there's all kinds of weird things. A lot of manual math that they have to do. But basically, for Matteo Rizzo to overtake Nicolai Memola, he has to more or less beat him by something like 10 points here.
That's a big ask.
I'm going to go back and do the calculations again before this weekend, but it's something around the 5 to 10 point range. So he will need to be perfect, and Nicolai Memola will need to make mistakes. So that's really the big thing there.
Yeah.
For the women, it's a pretty cut and dry decision there. Also, Laranaki Gutman has just been on fire all season long, and she comes in with like a 45-point lead or something like that. So it will be her, but it's a 13 women event here.
It's deep. I was so interested. There's only 7 men entered, 7 senior men,
Yeah.
and for them to have like 3 or 4 of like the top men in the world, it's kind of incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. So the men and the women. So
And
with
only
the
4 pairs.
yeah, I know.
Do you remember a couple of years ago there were so many Italian pairs? They were just like
There
coming
were.
out of the woodwork, and I was like, "Wait, what's this one? Where
Yeah.
did this one come from?"
Yeah.
And they had a ton.
And they were all like, they all had a lot of potential.
Yeah.
And so it's Conti Machi again, cut and dry. They will get a spot. Gilardi Ambrosini, likely the second spot, unless Beccari Guarise can pull out some magic at Italian nationals. And given that Lucrezia Beccari has been injured all season, it's probably been very tough for them to train. So we'll see what happens. This could be Matteo Guarise's last nationals.
Oh man.
I know. Stalwart.
He's been around a long time.
For sure. I'm curious to hear what you think about the ice dance competition here, because we know Guignard Fabry are going to win, but the battle for silver could actually be among a number of teams here. If the international season has been any indication, like, it could be any of them.
Yeah. We finally got to see Tali and La Fornara at Golden Spin. They made their season debut. I believe Noah La Fornara was injured at the beginning of the season. And I liked their programs. I thought they were good. You can tell they haven't had much mileage. But I mean, they may have improved a bit in the time they've had before this event. I think that, Fed probably wants to see them in second and wants to see them coming out strong, but we'll see how it plays out. I love Paulina and Tuba. I think that they have a lot of potential, and they've really kind of had a bit of a breakthrough this season, kind of competing more and doing more challenging events. But then, of course, Monty and Roethlisberger are probably like the second most experienced team in this whole field.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited to watch it. I don't really know what's going to happen, but
Yeah, and they have two spots for the world team.
hmm
So that will be the battle is for that second spot for the world team.
yeah, I just want to say like future looking for Italy. I feel I'd be very surprised if Tali La Fornara aren't the ones they send to Worlds. Their ceiling is so high. They just had this injury setback, but we'll see.
We will see. I mean, I'm looking at last season's Europeans. Guignard Fabry won it, and Manny
Mm-hmm.
Roethlisberger were 15th. So they have two
Mm,
spots for Europeans as well.
nice.
And Europeans will figure into the world's selection
Mm,
process. So this competition will absolutely be a battle to get to Europeans, and
mm-hmm.
you would imagine that whoever gets to Europeans will probably get to Worlds, but then you still have to perform well
Yeah.
because they will count another competition in 2026 in their calculations in
Mm-hmm.
order to figure out the world team spots.
We also have to wonder, will Guinard and Fabry go to Worlds?
That's right.
And then I also wondered, are they going to go to Europeans? Um, because they'd have to face Fournier, Baudry, and Cicerone, who have already beaten them this season, Fear Gibson, who have beaten them twice this season, and it's in Sheffield, where the crowd is going to be just wild for the British team. I don't know. I don't know if I would go. I feel like it's a, you know,
I mean,
strategic choice to not go.
well, there are always strategic choices for
Mm-hmm.
the dancers because
Mm-hmm.
part of this is just FaceTime, right? You want to
Yeah.
be showing up. Part of it is also making sure that they keep their spots for the
Mm-hmm.
the skate order,
That's
and
true.
to not go to a Europeans is very taxing on your world standings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you always see like Chalk and Bates generally will go to a four continents, even if it's
Yeah.
on the other side of the world. You would expect that to happen. Probably not this season, given it's so close to the Olympics. But for Europeans, it's a little different because there's an extra week
Mm-hmm.
between them and four continents, and it's also in continental Europe, which is a lot closer than if you were in North America and going to Beijing for four continents. So
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not good at calculating world standings because I don't really look
I
at them
know.
very often. But I am looking at it now, and Guinard and Fabry are third. Fear Gibson are first. Chalk Bates are second. Lopareva Briseau fourth. Then Gillis Poirier, Carrera Ponmarenko, Reed, and Ambrulevicius. Okay, that tells me that only Lopareva Briseau could knock them down. And then it's like Gillis and Poirier and Carrera Ponmer. Gillis and Poirier are going to be at the Olympics. I don't know if like they'd have to look at the math if Reed and Ambrulevicius could knock them out of the top five, but I don't know. I'm intrigued. We'll see.
Yeah,
See
we'll
what they
see.
do.
We will definitely have to see what all this strategy is going to look like for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Well, lots to come. We will be back midweek with a Japan Nationals preview, and I will be in Japan.
Yeah. When do you leave?
I leave on Tuesday morning. So,
Wow.
oh my God, I'm so excited
Jealous.
to be at Japan Nationals for the Olympic season is
It's
just
gonna be
it's
crazy.
like
It's gonna be loud in there.
I am giddy, giddy.
Send Wakaba my love.
I will.
This is her final competition, probably.
I
Unless
mean
they send her to
that's
like four
it's
continents.
or she could do one of those local competitions that
Mm-hmm.
they often have domestic events in
Mm-hmm.
early in the
Mm-hmm.
year. So, but yeah, I mean this will be her last
Mm-hmm.
nationals. Could be her last event. It'll be Kaori's last nationals. It'll
Oh my
be
God. Mai
uh,
Mihara.
this, Miami Horror. Oh my God.
I just saw a picture of
The
Kaori Mai
tears.
and Wakaba on a podium in 2012 together. They were babies. It's just like end of an era.
The tears. I will be
Mm-hmm.
crying.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Michelle, thank you for going through 500 nationals competitions with me here.
No problem.
I swear this is going to be the longest nationals week that we will have, because
Yeah.
the rest of this will be more kind of one or two big nationals
Mm-hmm.
going into the rest of the season. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right. Well, thank you as always to John Wilson Blades and its many brands for your sponsorship. And thank you to Tara Nichols for helping us sound great. And for Michelle Ellis, this is Jackie Walls, Chief Skate Nerd of rockerskating.com, and about to be a flight taker to, to
About to
Japan.
become
So
a Japanese citizen.
about to become a Japanese citizen, just like Yuka Orihara.
Oh.
Uh, all right. Well, we'll talk to you again very soon. Bye.